Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your second Chelsea video of the day. If you didn't see the first one, we were talking about Chelsea news, including an Aston Villa player, a player that may well play against Chelsea in this fixture in the FA Cup, fourth round at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have already made it to a final of a domestic cup competition this season by beating Middlesborough to make it to Wembley for the Carabao Cup final on the 25th of May. And this game, at home to Aston Villa, is another opportunity to not only build some confidence going into a massive match in the middle of next week away at Liverpool and building up to that Carabao Cup final also, but this is a chance here for Chelsea to knock out Aston Villa, make it to the last 16 of the FA Cup. Because who knows, there is a world where this season that looked so far gone after losing at the Riverside, remember, Christmas Eve at the Molineux, we were like, there's no way this Chelsea team can achieve anything this season. We also thought it, by the way, when Thomas Tuchel came in and then suddenly Chelsea were champions of Europe. There is a world here where we beat Aston Villa, we're in the last 16 of the FA Cup, we avoid some more of the big teams, and we start talking about one cup final, slowly moving up the league with the most informed Premier League side, by the way, in the last 5 games in the league. We've got more points than anyone else in the Prem. That is absolutely bonkers to even think that when you think about how poorly we've been playing. Yes, those are inflated. That's what I meant to say. By the teams that we have been playing. We've been playing the lower echelon sides in the league. But this is an FA Cup game that I am desperate to see Chelsea build upon the performance that we saw against Middlesbrough. And I say specifically the performance. I don't think we can go out there and get back-to-back 6-1 wins, although I'd absolutely love it if we did. Realistically, Aston Villa have been absolutely magnificent this season. The way that Unai Emery's got them playing, they're fluid, they're attacking, they're playing with a lot of confidence, but Chelsea have won our last seven matches in a row. We have now won at Stamford Bridge. And this is the kind of form that we've been asking for some time. Stamford Bridge became one of those places for a very long time where clubs would come, irritate us, steal 3 points and walk away without really having to enter third or fourth gear. We're making it difficult for teams now. And I think the difficult thing here for Pochettino is, by the way, can we just talk about this for a second? How have Chelsea been put on the Friday night game having played the domestic cup semi-final on the Tuesday night? Can someone explain this to me, please, other than somebody doesn't want Chelsea there? They saw it was Aston Villa, they're like, oh, bloody hell, mate. They've already got a result at Stamford Bridge this season. We can knock out... I'm going to try and stay away from the agendas, but like, 2 plus 2 is 4 in this case. You know, you do the basic maths and it don't add up, but it does. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, Chelsea versus Villa. It's a tough one for Pochettino here when it comes to building the team. I'm recording this one, unfortunately, before the press conference. So Nkunku, who's been, bloody hell, that bug's back from the previous video. Nkunku might be available, but I don't think he's going to start regardless. I've not put him on the subs bench. Don't think Gusto's going to be back either. And there was a big shift put in by those Chelsea players in that home game against Middlesbrough on Tuesday night. But I think we need to see something similar. I think it's not... These players are young, so they should be fit enough to be able to cope with playing 2 rounds of 90 minutes in the space of 3 or 4 days. And I know that obviously footballers nowadays, there's a lot more fixtures, there's a lot of complaining, but we've not had European football this season. So I think this has got to be one of those games where I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, but we played on Tuesday night. No, this is bollocks, right? We're Chelsea Football Club. We should be making Carabao Cup finals, and we should beat Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge in the 4th round of the FA Cup. And without any further ado, I'm now going to build my Chelsea team that will face Aston Villa tomorrow night, or today, if you're watching this on the day of the match. But before I do that, I do want to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson football channel and hit the like button if you think we're going to beat Aston Villa. And even if you don't think so, you may as well bloody like it just for me anyway. And you can check out my new vlog channel with my girlfriend in the description down below. Petrovic, of course, is the goalkeeper. At this point in time, there's not really a debate whether Sanchez is back and ready or not. Petrovic is my number 1. He conceded a goal. It's a great finish, actually, from Rodgers of Middlesbrough. Don't really think Petrovic can do much about it. He gets it out of his feet quickly. He's hit it pacily into the bottom right corner. Petrovic is in goal. No qualms about that whatsoever. We move. And before that game against Borough, I specifically said, Disasi can't do it at right back. I hold my hands up here. Poch, brilliant shout. Disasi continues as my Chelsea right back. It was brilliant. The goal that he scored, I've been thinking about it since. It still is. It might be the number one favourite goal that we've scored this season. It's brilliant. To me, it epitomises everything that we haven't been. We were hungry. Disasi in particular, hungry. Winning the ball back in that centre circle. Driving forward. 2 passes and he's in and he finishes it. Kind of just scoops it as if he's robbing a bank and then just runs out the back door. It was magnificent. Disasi is there. And I've gone with an unchanged back 4. I think we looked really good. I think the balance of Silva, Colwill and Benjamin bloody Chilwell at left back was absolutely fantastic. Yes, there's a world where I think Badiashile could be ready for this one. Maybe we see Alfie Gilchrist. And again, if we do see Alfie, I'm not going to be disappointed. But I just thought we were so good in that game against Middlesbrough that I don't really want to make too many changes. However, kind of been forced to make some changes as we move further up the field because there's a couple of players whose performances I thought were so poor in that Borough game that they've got to be taken out as the standard of opposition goes higher when we face Aston Villa here at Stamford Bridge. But with that back 4, just to repeat what I've said in previous videos, Chilwell offers so much to this team. A lot of people were saying, well, we didn't think he was good enough, now he's come back in, maybe. Yeah, that's just how it works. When Chilwell's been out, we've kind of realised the issue is we concede so many goals, we're not defending properly because we've got defenders playing all over the gaff, out of position. Now you're playing Chilwell, a natural left back. Look at the improvement of Levi Colwill in centre back. Even gets forward better, not just the defending. And I think Chelsea need to stick with this going forward as long as they're, of course, all fit. Moving in to a midfield 3, I think Gallagher was rested against Middlesbrough. But I also find it very interesting how you take Gallagher out and Chelsea score so many goals. I know he had a big part to play in the final 2 in the second half, but in the first half in particular, no Gallagher. We look like creating a lot, but Gallagher comes back in to my starting 11 here for this game against Aston Villa, alongside Enzo and Caicedo. Caicedo is very quickly, but in a slow way, I think you guys understand what I mean here, becoming a key figure here for Chelsea. I thought Caicedo had a really good game against Middlesbrough, and it's kind of that unsung work again. You know, N'Golo Kante was, because he's so small, and you're always looking at Kante thinking, how do you do this? And then sometimes I think maybe Caicedo does similar things, but because he's not Kante, he maybe doesn't get rewarded and praised in the same manner. I think Caicedo's role is becoming huge in this Chelsea team, and the confidence looks to be coming through from Enzo Fernandez as well. I would love to see him getting forward a lot more like he did in that Middlesbrough game. And I think a key focus here for Chelsea, even though Aston Villa are significantly a higher level than Middlesbrough, and this is going to be much tougher. I don't think, as I've already said, we're going to win 6-1. I think we should treat this the same way. I think what these Chelsea players have lacked has been confidence. When you score 6 and you're playing good flowing attacking football, it breeds confidence. So go with a similar plan for this game. Moving into a front 3. And unfortunately, I don't like moving Cole Palmer because he's been so good, but he's got to play through the middle here because I don't think Armando Broja is it. I've given up on him, to be honest. I really have. I don't like saying that. And if he goes ahead and scores and plays here against Villa, I'll be delighted for him. Of course, I don't want anyone to fail at Chelsea. I always want my striker scoring. I just don't really back him right now. So I've gone with Sterling on the left, Noni on the right, with Palmer through the middle. What I like about this front 3, I don't think Mudryk can be anywhere near the starting 11 after what I saw against Borough. I think Noni has got confidence right now. He had a poor game in that first leg, but he was scoring goals before that, scored the final goal as well in this one. And I like it because he likes to come in central. He's going to give a hard time to that Aston Villa left back, and then Sterling as well the same. There's rotation there, especially if we see something similar that we saw against Middlesbrough, where Caicedo really is just screening that back line with a license which was for Palmer and Enzo, but now it can be Gallagher and Enzo with that industry for both of those players to get forward and support that attack. There's going to be options for the overloads for Chelsea with Chilwell's width on that left-hand side too, and hopefully Axel Disasi turns up the same way that he turned up at the Bridge on Tuesday night. So that is my Chelsea 11 that I think can beat Aston Villa here. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm going to give you two predictions. I'm going to give you what my brain says, which is a 1-1 draw, which isn't a bad result, really, but then you've got to go, I think there's a replay, so you've got to go to Villa Park, and that will be tough. Villa are a really, really good side. They're an exceptional football team. Credit to Unai Emery, but not too much before the bloody game. But I also think there is a lot to be said for the confidence that these players will have, having made it to that final and scoring 6 on Tuesday night. So, even with a bit of fatigue in there, part of me thinks we can go out there and win this 2-1, 3-1. Going to say 1-1 as my overall prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Really tricky game, but win this, we're into the last 16. Come on, you Blues.